रही मन पानी राखिए.
Water, so crucial for survival, and yet not always available to people. Sources that were once plentiful stand depleted today. The unending search for drinking water has for generations been a test of endurance that has not left a single day untouched. The wealth that the earth receives goes unutilized because it is often not harvested. If it were, there would be more available. We know for certain that in the past communities created systems for collecting rainwater. There were sometimes small tanks that would take care of the needs of a household. Else there were huge reservoirs. These could be strengthened, and where they have discontinued, they may be revived. But many places need to start afresh now. Water is precious. We need to value it, save it.
पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे.
A song strung together in various Indian languages, each echoing not only the significance of water, but also underlying the need to conserve it and prevent its wastage. Today is the culmination of a 15-day process that started on 1st September 2003, when members from 15 NGOs all over the country arrived in Barefoot College, SWRC, Tilonia, for a theatre and communication workshop on the theme of rainwater harvesting. The team members came from Sikkim and Assam in the northeast, West Bengal, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal and Rajasthan. They spoke different languages but were connected by a common cause, common theme. The need to communicate with the communities they work with on an issue like conservation of rainwater that could work wonders with the active and willing participation of the people added to their zeal and commitment. Working and creating together was a challenging task. It was an intensive process.
पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे पानी रोको पानी रोको पानी रोको भाई रे.
Music too must be shared, practiced and composed together. A powerful and important message must be conveyed with enough skill to have an impact. It must be interesting and involve the audience at a human level also. There also must be laughter. And above all, it must compel people to think and act. The play developed slowly, steadily, through a process of improvisation, introspection and sharing. Differences of region and language became smaller and smaller as the prime concern, water, grew stronger. The play tries to connect with the audience by inviting them to participate in a fictitious, futuristic situation. It dwells on management that denies most people their share. It may be vested interests that deprive people. It could well be an ingrained upper caste attitude that refuses to share or budge.
अरे ओए बहुत प्यास लगी है ना. ये तुम्हारे लिए नहीं है, एकदम सिर्फ पानी तो पीना है. अरे ये बड़े कास्ट वालों के लिए है।
मैंने तो तेरी हिम्मत कैसे हुई यहाँ आने की?
The system could be questioned, no doubt.
पीने के पानी की व्यवस्था के बारे में आप सोच रहे हैं? पीने के पानी की व्यवस्था के लिए देखिए, गांव से लेकर शहर तक हर एक कस्बे में, हर एक दुकानों में मिनरल वाटर का व्यवस्था किया है। 10 रुपया दीजिए और बोतल पीजिए।
But the answers must also be searched within. Often water sources are treated irresponsibly by careless and unsanitary habits. And thus, it is necessary to take control of the situation. That makes us more than spectators of our destiny. For a small action may make the necessary difference, especially if we can cast aside other differences and take charge of a situation. For reasons fair or unfair, the task of providing water to the family has been part of women's work and continues to be viewed as such. Thus, talking of water also implies talking of women. If the hand pump does not work, then who must repair it? Clay, puppets and posters. These two were designed and prepared by the participants. Wallpapers, talking of water and rainwater harvesting, that could be pasted on the school buildings and similar institutions to keep the dialogue ongoing in the various communities where the campaign was heading for. After the preliminary performance, there was a review, discussion. Some suggestions were incorporated and alterations made. After this, the plunge was taken to take this message to different parts of the country, in all directions, to varied terrains, in different languages, to communities, big and small. On foot, on cycle, crossing rivers and climbing hills, the messenger was to cover all and engage in a discussion with people who matter, people who hold the key to the present and the future. Participants from the organizations went back as trainers and created small teams in their respective areas. They trained them in street theatre and puppet plays. There was an inbuilt flexibility in the program that gave groups enough space to design their respective campaigns. In the Northeast, for example, SWRC Sikkim hosted a regional workshop for groups from West Bengal and Assam. Here, 3 organizations worked in collaboration and simultaneously created 3 distinct teams for their respective areas. The first performance took place in Saddam itself, but other teams performed in their states. Local languages, dialects were incorporated, and costumes, though not elaborate, gave an interesting shade of variation to each. The group playing in Assam also incorporated elements of Bodo language as well. Most other organizations had separate workshops. Alok in North Bihar had a workshop that brought in their priorities as well. Here the issue of safe drinking water surfaced as a major concern. It is said that no change can take place without children's support and participation. And so here too, this was the starting point. Interestingly, the underlying theme of self-reliance did get across to the audience. The theme of sanitation was subtly handled and incorporated by devising a setting for the puppet play. This was SST in Andhra Pradesh. Lead in Tamil Nadu had a large team of 18 members that performed mostly in schools. Agragami in Odisha also had a team that in numbers was no less, 18 again. Here the felling down of local trees and planting of eucalyptus was an important issue, for that affects the groundwater, and the consequences of which have an adverse effect on the quality of human life. In the state of Uttaranchal, 60 performances took place, split between two organizations, Samta Dehradun and SWRC Champawat. Here there is an acute shortage of water in villages, and depletion of water sources is a matter of great concern. Thus the theme of rainwater harvesting connects immediately with the audiences. Sutra in Himachal Pradesh has also been grappling with the issue of water and taking concrete steps in this direction. Here 2 teams were created with 9 members in each. Women who are involved with water conservation, some in the actual construction of tanks, came forward to participate in the play. The enthusiasm trickled to other members of the organization, who not only came in to perform, but designed their costumes as well. In the lush greenery of Kerala, where rain is plentiful, but drinking water may not always be. Water sources that can provide for human consumption are sometimes far-flung. Hence the message of rainwater harvesting is important. Here, young students of the organization Rasta were the messengers, and the zeal with which they performed is apparent. SST is based in Andhra Pradesh, where too drinking water is not easily accessible. Hence the message of the campaign was significant in the context of the daily life of the people. Sampark in Madhya Pradesh performed mostly in schools. The 8-member team also played in melas and local haats, where the performance almost dissolved into the environment. Such was the simplicity of the performance, as also its strength. The organization Sarathi of Gujarat had a different flavor altogether. It was tempered with the color and energy of the folk performers. Pido in Rajasthan has also completed 30 performances. And now to run the full circle, we return to Tilonia, where the communication team has been taking this message of rainwater harvesting to areas around, and where the loved Joachim Chacha has become almost a legend.
नमस्कार बहुत लोग हैं ना जरा जोर से बोलो
43 shows have been completed by this group, which also performed in the trade fair. Drama and puppets speak not only to rural audiences, but also to urban ones. Altogether, making a grand total of 582 performances, directly reaching to almost 118,000 people. The campaign still lives on. As long as there is need for action, the need to articulate it would continue. But the fact that there have been so many additional shows indicates the urgency of taking this issue to the people. Whoever has known thirst wants a solution. And whosoever has walked for miles every day for a pitcher of water is keen to strive for it and do her or his share.